Have you ever felt that sharing too much with your family sometimes does more harm than good? As we grow older, there's a natural tendency to want to be open and honest with our loved ones. We often believe that full transparency is the best approach, a way to strengthen bonds, build trust, and ensure that everyone is on the same page. However, the truth is that not everything needs to be shared. In fact, some things are better kept private, not out of secrecy, but out of wisdom. Sharing too much can sometimes lead to unintended consequences, creating stress, misunderstandings, or even conflicts within the family. This is especially true as we age, when maintaining independence, peace of mind, and healthy relationships becomes increasingly important. In this discussion, we'll explore 5 key areas where keeping certain matters to yourself after the age of 65 can protect your well-being and preserve the harmony of your relationships. These aren't about deception or shutting people out. Rather, they're about maintaining boundaries, avoiding unnecessary stress, and ensuring that your personal autonomy is respected. You might be surprised by how much peace and freedom can come from being selective about what you share. Let's dive into these 5 areas and understand why financial decisions and assets money is one of the most sensitive topics in any family, and as we age, it becomes even more complicated. You might think that being completely open about your financial situation with your family will prevent misunderstandings or conflicts. However, the reality is that sharing every detail about your savings, investments, or future plans can often create more problems than it solves. When you disclose the full extent of your financial situation, you open the door to unsolicited advice, pressure, and even family conflicts. Different generations often have different views on money, and what seems like a sound financial decision to you might be questioned or criticized by others. For example, if you've set aside a significant amount for retirement or have made specific investments, some family members might feel entitled to weigh in on how you should manage your money. They might suggest that you downsize your home, invest differently, or set aside more for grandchildren. While their intentions may be good, their input can quickly become overwhelming and frustrating. Moreover, once you've shared your financial details, you can't take that information back. Family members who were once distant might suddenly become very interested in your finances, especially if they realize you have substantial assets. This can lead to uncomfortable situations where you feel like your decisions are being scrutinized, or that others are trying to influence your choices. Comments like, "Are you sure you should be spending that much?" or "Wouldn't it be smarter to give some of that away now?" can make you feel like your independence is being undermined. This doesn't mean you should never discuss finances with your family. It's important to have clear estate plans and to communicate necessary details when the time is right. However, you don't need to share everything: the exact amount of money you have, what you spend on yourself, or even whether you've made a new investment. These are personal decisions that are yours to manage. By keeping some financial matters private, you can enjoy your life without unnecessary opinions or pressure. It's not about secrecy, it's about wisdom and maintaining control over your own life. 2. Health concerns that are not urgent. As we age, it's natural to experience more health issues, and it's common to want to share these concerns with our loved ones. After all, they care about us, and we want them to know what's going on. However, there's a fine line between keeping your family informed about important medical matters and overwhelming them with every minor ache or pain. Constantly sharing every little health concern can create unnecessary worry and stress for your family. For example, mentioning a small issue like joint pain or fatigue might lead to a flood of well-meaning but overbearing advice. Your family might start researching treatments, scheduling doctor's appointments, or suggesting changes to your diet or lifestyle. While their concern is understandable, it can quickly turn into pressure, making you feel like you're no longer in control of your own health. There's also a psychological aspect to consider. If you frequently talk about your health issues, even the minor ones, your family may start to see you as someone who is declining faster than you really are. They might begin treating you differently, assuming that you're more fragile or incapable than you actually feel. This can lead to them hesitating to include you in certain activities, questioning your ability to travel, or suggesting that you need extra help, all because you mentioned that your knees were aching more than usual one day. Of course, it's important to communicate major health concerns, especially if they impact your daily life or require family support. But choosing to keep minor issues to yourself doesn't mean you're being dishonest. It simply means you're protecting your autonomy and avoiding unnecessary interventions. You have the right to manage your health on your own terms, and sometimes silence is the best way to maintain control over your well-being. 3. Your true thoughts on family conflicts. Family dynamics can be incredibly complicated, and as we get older, we often find ourselves in the middle of situations we never asked to be part of. Siblings arguing over an inheritance, adult children holding grudges, or extended family members who don't get along. These are issues that arise in almost every family. When you've lived long enough, you've likely seen patterns repeat, old wounds resurface, and history repeat itself. In these situations, it's tempting to step in, offer advice, or share your honest opinion about who's right and who's wrong. However, more often than not, doing so only adds fuel to the fire. You might have experienced this before, trying to mediate a dispute, only to find that both sides suddenly turn against you. Or perhaps you've offered a strong opinion, thinking you were helping, only to realize later that your words were taken the wrong way. The hard truth is that family conflicts often have a way of sorting themselves out, or not, regardless of your input. And when people finally do move on, they tend to remember what was said in the heat of the moment. If you take sides or express a strong opinion, you might find that even after the argument is long forgotten, the resentment toward you still lingers. This is especially important when it comes to opinions about younger family members. Saying what you really think about a son-in-law, a daughter's parenting style, or a relative's life choices might feel honest in the moment, but those words have a way of sticking. People rarely forget when they feel judged or criticized, even if your intentions were good. What feels like helpful advice to you might feel like rejection to them, creating emotional distance that never quite heals. That's why one of the wisest things you can do after 65 is to practice selective silence. You don't have to agree with everything or pretend problems don't exist, but you also don't have to comment on every family situation. Instead of giving an opinion, sometimes the best response is a simple, "I hope things work out for the best," or "I trust you'll make the right decision." This allows you to stay connected without getting pulled into drama that ultimately isn't yours to fix. Keeping certain thoughts to yourself can be the key to maintaining peace, not just for your family, but for yourself. 4. Your regrets about the past. As the years go by, it's natural to reflect on the past, on choices made, opportunities missed, and paths not taken. Regret is something that everyone experiences in one way or another, but that doesn't mean it always needs to be shared, especially with family. You might feel the urge to talk about things you wish you had done differently, whether it's how you handled your career, how you raised your children, or decisions that shaped your life. But what you see as honesty or self-reflection can sometimes be misinterpreted by those closest to you. For example, if you mention that you wish you had spent less time working and more time with family, your children might hear, "I wasn't a good enough parent." If you say you regret not moving to a different city or pursuing a different dream, they might take it as an indirect way of saying your life with them wasn't fulfilling. The same goes for regrets about relationships. Talking about a past love, even in a harmless way, can make your spouse or family members feel like they were a second choice. Even reflecting on friendships that drifted apart or opportunities that slipped away can shift the way people see you. Instead of remembering the strong, resilient person they've always known, they might start seeing you as someone who is stuck in the past. That's why some regrets are best kept to yourself. It's okay to think about them, to process them, and even to learn from them. But dwelling on them in front of family doesn't change what's already happened. More often than not, it only places a burden on those who love you. The past can't be rewritten, but the way you carry it forward is entirely up to you. 5. The full extent of your financial situation. Money is one of the most complicated topics in any family, and as you get older, you may feel the need to share more details about your financial situation with your loved ones. Whether it's how much you've saved, what you plan to leave behind, or even financial struggles you're facing, it's important to tread carefully. One of the biggest risks of revealing too much about your finances is that it can change how people treat you. If your family knows you have a comfortable amount saved, you may find that some relatives start looking at you differently, perhaps even expecting financial help or subtly hinting at what they hope to inherit. On the other hand, if you reveal that you're struggling, you might find that your loved ones start worrying about you too much or questioning your financial decisions. There's also the issue of independence. The more your family knows about your finances, the more they may feel entitled to give you advice, whether you ask for it or not. Some might even start making decisions on your behalf, thinking they're helping when in reality, they're taking away your ability to manage your own affairs. You might suddenly find yourself being told where you should live, how you should spend, or what's best for you, all because you shared details that might have been better kept private. Of course, this doesn't mean you should keep everything secret. If you have a trusted person, such as a financial advisor or an executor for your estate, it's wise to have your plans documented properly. But outside of that, the best approach is often to share only what is absolutely necessary and nothing more. Keeping certain details to yourself allows you to maintain control over your own financial future while avoiding unnecessary stress, tension, or unwanted advice. Final thoughts. As we wrap up this discussion, take a moment to reflect on the 5 areas we've explored. Keeping certain things private isn't about being secretive or distant. It's about protecting your peace, your dignity, and your relationships. Not everything needs to be shared, and sometimes the wisest choice is knowing what to hold back. Think about your own life. Have you ever shared something with family only to realize later that it changed how they saw you? Or maybe you've held back from saying something and realized later that it was the right decision. Wisdom often comes from experience, and as we grow older, we learn that some things are best kept to ourselves. The beauty of aging is that you gain clarity on what truly matters: your peace of mind, your independence, and the quality of your relationships. Being selective with what you share allows you to maintain control over your own life while keeping your connections strong. It's not about shutting people out, but about preserving what makes those relationships meaningful. We'd love to hear from you. What's one thing you've learned from this discussion, and how do you plan to use it in your life? Your thoughts are important, so don't hesitate to share them. If you found this discussion helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue creating content that informs and inspires. Thanks for reading, and we look forward to connecting with you in the next discussion.